YouTube, what's going on? Happy Thursday night, Diecast enthusiasts. Last night we took a look at my Tomoka Limited Vintage collection. So tonight we're going to look at my Kyosho collection. This one's been shown pretty recently. A lot of these haven't been shown on the channel in a while. Some of them have been shown recently, but I have a lot more of these than I do TLV, so I'm going to have to move a lot quicker to get through them. So this is the Volkswagen Golf. I'm going to start with the European. I apologize for any fingerprints. I didn't take the time to wipe them off. Oh, don't do it. Don't do it. I love this Porsche. Don't you do it. Awesome lines, awesome detail. These things are all so on point. The stance on these is great on all of them. There's not a single one that looks questionable to me. Same thing with the proportions of the cars. This one here, quite a few of these are black, so they may not show up as well. One thing I will say about this car is you can buy this car on eBay for like $9 shipped. It is a Kyosho LaFerrari in black. Lens headlights, lens tail lights, rubber tires with tread, prototypical wheels. For $9 shipped is a phenomenal value. It's probably the best diecast car you can get for the price on eBay. And it's a sick looking car. Man, I love it. I love it in black. So while we're on the Ferrari theme, here's a 599XX Evo. This car was popularized in diecast with the Hot Wheels Super Treasure Hunts, which came out twice. Another sick car with sick lines and sick details. Kyosho just does amazing work. Look at those headlights. Bam. Beautiful car. Love it. Another Kyosho Ferrari that I like a whole heck of a lot is this one here. I've had a lot of people inquire about this car. Love it. It's just so proper. All right, so those are some of the exotics. Here is just a pretty standard Audi A4. Probably see one of these on a trip to the grocery store. Pretty common car, but I like to have this type of stuff in diecast form. Really cool car. Nice color too. Yeah, this one's pretty nice. This is Aston Martin. I don't remember the model. I bought this car and I almost traded it a couple times, and then the longer I had it, the more I looked at it, the more it grew on me. It's definitely a beautiful looking car. Another nice color, nice wheels, nice lines, nice stance. So the thing with these Kyosho cars is they have pretty basic plastic bases, but I'm okay with that. I think it's a trade-off worth making when you look at the rest of the detail of the car. This thing is sweet. This is a little Porsche 911 Speedster. Really cool little car. This car, actually, there's quite a few of these that could have made it into the silver castings video, because I have a pretty decent collection of silver Kyosho, including this one here, the Lotus Esprit. And this one here. I don't know if this one's going to be able to. The turnstile is not very level. That is just an awesome car. When I bought this, there was a seller who was selling this one and the white one for $25. I think it was like $28 shipped. And I bought the pair and I traded away the white one, and now these are selling for like $40 or $50 a piece. So I kind of regret trading away the pearl white one, but that's okay. I still have this one, which is still really nice. The black one is probably the one to have, but I do like this one. Pretty awesome. And then, staying on the Mercedes theme, there's another nice Mercedes-Benz. Surprised this one's not showing up very well for being a white car. And then just a couple of more European cars. We have this Alfa Romeo Montreal. This might have been the first or second Kyosho I ever bought. There's just something about the car that appealed to me. Just the styling of the car. The silhouette of this car looks great. And I like the wheels a lot. All right, two more European cars. This is the newest Kyosho in my collection right here. This is the Bentley. Oh no! Crash and burn. It's a Bentley Arnage T. Let's try this again. It's an easy way to lose a mirror or scratch the paint or something, and just stuff I don't want to do, because these are not cheap cars. This car here is about a $30 car. It is awesome though. Just look at all the trim detail. Almost looks like a Rolls Royce. Really nice rolling car too. And then another British masterpiece here. The Bentley Continental Super Sports. That needs to be wiped off. A lot of fingerprints on this one. Just a dope looking car though. So, and they're showing up okay for being black. So usually the black ones don't show up too well. So that's the European collection. Now I'm going to get into the Japanese stuff, which tends to be a little bit more popular right now. Although this is the type of stuff I prefer to collect anyways, just because it is my preference. I have about the same amount. I have 15 Japanese Kyosho and 14 European, so it's pretty well split. This is a Mazda RX-3. I love this little casting. I love the wheels on it. It's just a stock version. I do have an Aoshima that has the custom ground effects and fender flares and spoiler, and it's the same color, so it's a good representation of a stock and custom. This one here was shown pretty recently. It's a little Honda Civic. That one looks like it's gonna roll. This one seems to be really hard to find. Any of the Hondas they seem to be just really hard to find. Well, let's see. This one was shown pretty recently. This is one of my favorites here. Just a very classy looking car. Nissan Skyline. Known in the US as the Infiniti G35 Coupe. And then, let's see here, this one. It's another really nice one. Subaru Impreza. Don't you do it. Mazda Savannah. RX-7, second gen. A couple of others that have been shown pretty recently is this Land Cruiser. I'm a big fan of Toyota Diecast, so this thing is just too heavy. It's gonna roll. Yeah, it's gonna roll itself off no matter what I do, so I'll just try to this one I think you can pick up right around 25. It's a big heavy casting though. Cool Land Cruiser. And then this one here I've shown on the channel a few times. This one's probably going to roll off of it too. This is the Toyota FJ. See if I can get some better light. This will probably be my next purchase. My next real car purchase will be one of those, I think. Okay. The rest of this stuff, I think, is stuff for the most part that hasn't really been seen too much lately. I'll show you guys an assortment of Skylines, starting with this. Somebody commented on my TLV video that the Caramel was a 4-door Ken Mary. Just wanted to make a correction on that. It definitely wasn't. I don't think they ever made a 4-door Ken Mary. But what it was, it's a Japan Skyline. It's basically the 4-door version of this. This is also known as the Japan Skyline, or 2000 GTS Turbo, I think. Konami did a really nice job on this tooling as well. Uh, 2000 Turbo GTES. So you had that one, the ES, and then after that came the 2000 Turbo RSX, which is the one Hot Wheels just came out with, which is this one here. This is another Kyosho car that I get a ton of people contacting me about. And this might be my favorite Kyosho car in my collection, so it's probably not something that I'll ever trade. I've seen the beads collection though of this car for $20-25, so you can pick it up for relatively inexpensive. It's a really cool car though. It's got a really aggressive stance, and it's just a big, long 2-door. This camera angle probably isn't the best for it. Pretty sick wheels too. And then, okay, so two Skylines. How many do I have left? 1, 2. I've done 3. I guess I only have 2 left. So we'll start with this one here, which is the GTR BNR 33. I really need to get an R32 Kyosho. It's been on my list for a while because I have the R33 and the R34. This one's probably not going to show up too well just because of that color. Let's see if I can manipulate it here. You can see these cars really need to be wiped down, but you can also see how awesome they are. So that is the Kyosho R33. Now we'll look at the R34, which this one is absolutely dope. This is the car the new Greenlight Tokyo Torque was modeled after. They did a nice job on it, but doesn't really even come close to this. Kyosho Nissan Skyline GTR R34. And this one here, the thought maybe it was like a Nismo or something. So that's the Skylines. Another really cool Mazda that I have the RX-3, and I have the Savannah 2nd Gen RX-7. Both of those are pretty cool little cars, I think. But I used to think this car was ugly, but I've got a neighbor that has a red one, and it's a car that's kind of grown on me. Don't you do it. It's a sick little casting. It's such a unique car. The styling of the car is just so unique. Very, very unique. Nice clear tail lights. This is the Mazda RX-8. Dope. So I think that's all the Mazdas. In fact, that's all of everything except for 1, 2, 3, 4. So I've only got 4 more cars. Or no, only 3 more cars. So I only have 3 more cars to show, and all 3 of them are Toyotas. So I guess in no particular order, we will start with this Toyota MRS. I believe this was known in the States as a MR2 Spider. These ones have they've gotten up there in price quite a bit. I think it's just because they're kind of scarce. They're not very easy to find. And, but yeah, they're pretty expensive. I think there's a guy on eBay trying to get like 60 or 70 for his green one. And I don't think the car's worth that much. I mean, it could be a $30 or $40 car. It could be 60 or 70. I don't know. Maybe it is. I don't know. I wouldn't expect to get that for this if I ever sold it. But I usually do sell stuff well below eBay. Unless it's like something that's just so high in demand. This is another one that's kind of like that too. It's an older casting, an older release from Kyosho. And so it just hasn't been in production for a while, so it's just kind of scarce, kind of hard to find. And this is the Toyota Altezza, which was available here in the U.S., but it was known here in the U.S. as the Lexus IS 250. I think it was IS 250. It was an IS. I know it was a Toyota IS. And when I bought it, he had this one and the silver one. And I took this one because it looks better, and I have a lot of silver Kyosho cars. But the silver one would probably look a lot better in the video. But in person, on display, this blue color definitely looks better. It's a really cool little car. I like it a lot. And then the last one is also a Toyota. This is just an old Toyota Corolla Levin. And this is from a Toyota 3-pack. It had the Sprinter, Trueno, and then the Levin. And then it also had the new Toyota AE86, also known as the Scion FRS or the Subaru BRZ. And that 3-pack has climbed quite a bit. It was $60 when I bought it 8 months ago. But I'm seeing these cars selling for like $40 to $50 a piece. So, and I traded the other 2 away, but I did keep this one. So you can see the amount of detail on these. They are detailed for the most part. I think their detail is pretty much on par with Tomica Limited Vintage with all the lens detail. Now, these are all plastic base, unlike Tomica Limited Vintage, where you get metal base on everything. But like I said earlier, I don't care about a metal base. It's not, you know, there was a time as a collector where I did prefer that, and it was kind of important to me, and I thought it did add value, but it definitely doesn't anymore. Some of the nicest diecast cars I've ever seen have plastic bases. So if it has a lot of detail, if the car is nicely sculpted, has a really good stance with really nice detail, I couldn't care less if it's a plastic base or a metal base. So there you go. Inside of a half hour, that is the Kyosho collection that I have. It's another brand that I thoroughly enjoy collecting. And I think these cars, I mean, if you're a collector of detailed diecast, if you like Greenlight and Auto World, Kyosho and Tomica Limited Vintage that's your next step, because with Greenlight and Auto World, you're not going to find any of this kind of stuff. I don't think there's a single car that crosses over. Same thing with TLV. There might be a couple of Johnny Lightnings, but Johnny Lightning, every import car they've ever done has been awful from a proportion or scale standpoint. To the biggest issue they have is with their stance. And I mean, these things are on point. They are just scaled down miniatures. Put one of these on a Boulder Creek Railroad diorama, snap a picture of it, and it'll look like the real thing. So, but yeah, if you want to, I mean, if you're into Greenlight and Auto World, but you want some import stuff with that level of detail, this is your best bet. So, anyways, thanks for checking it out. I will holler at you all at the next video. Have a good Friday. Have a good weekend. Happy hunting.